Welcome Pacific Love. This is the 20th edition of 10 Life Hacks with PVC. Let's begin. If you've ever traveled with your dog, you know that if you put them in the back seat, well, they're going to somehow find a way up front with you and just be all in your lap. And next thing you know, you're swerving across the road because they won't get out of your face and, well, you love them, but man, they can be a distraction. That is, unless you make something like this right here. Now this is a great dog barrier. Let me show you how it works. Now the design of this is actually very simple. It's using all 1/2-inch PVC and fittings. Starting off, I got a 4-way here. It just runs down. This is a support pipe. I got it running up to a T. Now I have pipe running out each side of these. Now the length of these will vary per car because of course every car is a little bit different. Out here on the ends, you'll see I have a 45 degree, runs down to another 45 degree to a 90. I have that the same thing over here on the other side. To hold everything, I'm using the headrest, the little supports. Just got some zip ties, hold it in place. You can use zip ties, you can use string, whatever you'd like. But overall, this is a very sturdy and useful dog barrier that will come in handy, especially for long trips. You ever had those times you're trying to get a screw in and either you just can't twist it hard enough or you need more downward pressure, but if you push right there in the palm of your hand, it's just gonna hurt as you try to push in. You'll definitely feel it the next day. Well, I got a solution for both of those. If you take a piece of 3/4-inch PVC, well in this case it fits well with this screwdriver here. You can always change the size, but you just need a T. And you want it to be just slightly smaller than a screwdriver. So you see here, it won't slide over it. Well then, I took just a basic hair dryer and another piece of PVC that fits one of the side outlets here, and took just a basic hair dryer and blew on it. It may have took a couple minutes, but you want to get this as hot as you possibly can without burning it. If you see any discoloration, you're burning it. Do not do that. That can be toxic. Then once you get it hot enough, you take it and you wedge your screwdriver down in it. I have one done here already. And as you see, it is nice and tight. I can easily twist that screwdriver. I cannot hold it in my hand. I can easily twist it with this one, like so, and you can get a lot more downward pressure on it. And that way, your hand won't hurt, and you can do your job a little easier. You ever been working in your sink and you either have really hot water or maybe some kind of chemicals in there that you're cleaning with and you just really don't want to reach your hand into that? Well, a viewer by the name of CJC came up with this great idea. This is a piece of 1/2-inch PVC that we've cut maybe a little over halfway down into it this way, and then another 45-degree angle from here. Also in the front, we've cut a little notch. And this will allow you to now reach in, snap it around your drain plug, and pull it out. The great thing about this is you can also replace it if need be. This is easy to store. You can put it in a cabinet or just store it over your sink. If you happen to have a sink in, let's say, a lower bathroom, maybe in your garage or in your basement, and it, well, leaves everything open, you can easily create a nice little curtain using a piece of 1/2-inch PVC. Now, it's actually connected to the inner piece of the wall real easily. I've just used some nails. If I can slide this just right there, you can see the nail that it slides onto. I got a little groove cut in the PVC. It slides over the nail, just like so. And that way, it's nice and tight against the wall. You can easily put your nice little lightweight curtain in there, and it will now make your bathroom look a little bit nicer. You ever have a hard time trying to get your foot in your shoe and you could use just a nice heavy-duty shoehorn? One of my viewers named Pete Zachary gave me this idea. This is a 1.5-inch piece of pipe. Now, I've cut about 2/3, as you can see, 2/3 of the actual circle away the pipe and left about 1/3 there. And that will allow you to get your foot, fits right there on your heel real well. Also make sure you sand down, of course, the edges. You can use a file or sandpaper. I also left a good section back here on the back so that you can get a nice firm grip and get that shoe around your foot easily. Here's a great way to make a plant holder real simply using some 4-inch sewage and drain pipe. Now this is the thin stuff, this is not the Schedule 40, and this is a lot cheaper. You're gonna need 2 end caps and your pipe. Now also some glue, because you want to glue some of this. Now I cut this pipe roughly in half, as you can see there, and I'm actually gonna use both sides here. What you do is you take one side and your cap, and you want to glue just one side on so far on one of your caps. Then you take your other half and you want to slide it right inside on top of the other. Now this will allow you to judge whatever thickness or whatever distance you want apart here when you have your dirt inside. That way, if your plants you want to be real shallow dirt, you can do it this way, or you can make it a little bit deeper dirt, and that way you can have your plants to have more root area. Now you put an end cap on each side. Once you have it inside, now make sure you do not glue this one that moves, because you want that option to move it. Also, on your end caps, you can maybe put an eyeball or maybe a couple holes, and that way once you have it, you can take this and you can hang this up, and you have a nice little planter. You ever been trying to reach for a plug? Maybe it's overhead or just beyond a table or over some equipment, and you just can't reach it. No matter what you see them to do, you just need it in there, but you can't get it. Well, viewer CJC also had a second great idea. He took a piece of 1-inch PVC, we cut a notch in it. This is about 2.5 inches long. You take your plug and your cable here. You want the cable to go inside the notch, and your plug will slide down in the top of it. And then you take it and you stretch the cable down, and you can hold it with your thumb or your fingers, whatever you want to do. And then you can reach over and you can plug whatever you need to plug in. That's a great way to reach those out of reach plugs. If you're like myself, you just use a nail, hanger, tape on the wall, well, that can get a little bit bulky and just looks kind of messy. Here's a great way to organize that. Pete Zachary showed me that if you take a piece of 1/2-inch PVC that you can organize your tape across it. It looks real nice, especially up against the wall. I have a carabiner on this side and have some rope on this side. You can use whatever you like. I did find that the rope's a little bit easier to organize, or level I should say, just in case your nails are a little bit off and you don't have to worry about having to take nails out and putting them in. This is a great way just to store your tape. If you do a lot of work with sandpaper, whether it's one of the machines or just a piece of sandpaper sheet that you just sand stuff on, I have a great way to make an additional tool for you. This is just a piece of 1-inch PVC, and I just took a flat sheet of sandpaper and I cut it to size and just glued it right on, and that makes a great little accessory tool you can use. Now, there's a couple different ways you can do this. In this, I just have one sheet of grit. You can also have maybe one size of grit over here and a different over here, and that way you can just easily flip this around and sand it that way. Once the sandpaper is done, just peel off the sandpaper and you can clean off the glue and just apply another sheet. Now, I used hot glue. I've heard spray glue works well. Just find out whatever works with you and you can do that. It's just a great little accessory tool if you do a lot of sanding. This next idea comes from a viewer named Saeed Natlam. He sent me this awesome picture of his car. Now he's using a piece of PVC on the strut assembly that holds open his door. Now the strut assembly apparently became weak, and he is able to slide a piece of PVC over the body of the actual strut. So then when he opens the door, the PVC would slide down and then get lodged under the lip of the strut, therefore holding the door open. Now there's a couple things that you need to take in consideration if you're going to do this. First, you need to make sure that the PVC is big enough so that the bulkiest part of the strut can slide down in there. Also, you need to make sure that the length of the PVC is not any longer than the actual strut body, because you don't want it to extend too far or keep the door open. And one last thing, you need to make sure now that the body of the strut, or the PVC in this case, is going to be a good bit larger, you need to make sure the room that is around it, the body of the car, is actually a little bit wider than the PVC. Otherwise, you're going to either break the PVC, break your strut, or possibly bend your car. So make sure that extra room is allotted for that, and this project should work great for you. Can you believe we've actually hit 200 different items for PVC? That's just crazy in my head. Well, if you liked any of these projects, make sure you click that like button and tell us what you think about it in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because I have other ideas coming in the future.